Hello viewers, welcome to our channel UN College Digital Class Adaspur. So dear viewers, today we will be discussing about OSI model. So introducing myself, I am Sangam Malla, head of the department of BSc ITM from UN Autonomous College of Science and Technology. What is OSI model? So what do you mean by OSI model? You can clearly see OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. So it is a reference model that describes how information from a software application in one computer moves through a physical medium to the software application in another computer. So actually what is OSI model? So OSI is a model, it stands for Open System Interconnection. So it is just a model to send a message or send any file from one location to another location, from one system to another system. It may be mobile phone, it may be computer or anything. So when we are sending anything, suppose we are using WhatsApp, we are using Facebook, or we are simply messaging through email, whatever we are doing or whatever we are sending, so it uses the or it follows the OSI model. So OSI is just a model in which there are different layers and each layer has its function, different functions to send a message from one location to another location. So you can clearly see it has been developed by ISO, that stands for International Organization of Standardization, in the year 1984. So it is a 7-layer architecture with each layer having specific functionality to perform. All these 7 layers work collaboratively to transmit the data from one person to another across the globe. You can clearly see the image over here. So there are 7 layers: application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. You can clearly see there are 3 software layers, 3 hardware layers and 1 is the heart of OSI. When the sender sends a message, so it follows from top to bottom, and when the receiver receives a message, it follows from bottom to top architecture. So you can clearly see that OSI model has 7 layers and each layer has its own functions. All these layers depend on each other to transmit a message from one location to another location. The layers work from top to bottom structure in case of sender, and in case of receiver it works vice versa. That means in case of sender side, the layers are from top to bottom, that means from application layer to physical layer, and in receiver side it performs in vice versa, that is from physical layer to application layer. So we will be discussing each layer and what are the functions of each layer in our next slides. So moving to our next slides, the first layer is your physical layer. You can clearly see the lowest layer of the OSI reference model is the physical layer. It is responsible for the actual physical connection between the devices. The physical layer contains information in the form of bits. It is responsible for transmitting individual bits from one node to the next. When receiving the data, this layer will get the signal received and convert it into zeros and ones and send them to the data link layer, which will put the frame back together. So what is the physical layer? Physical layer is the innermost layer which is responsible for storing the data or physically linking a device. That means suppose I will take a photo in my phone, I will use the camera app, I will take a photo of my friend. So where the photo will be stored? Either it will be stored in the internal storage or in the memory card. So where the memory location is, where is the memory location, where the photo will be stored, each and everything will be under the physical layer. So physical layer is responsible for storing a data or physically linking a device, which cannot be accessed by the user directly. Suppose I will give a memory card in your hand, I will tell you just search for a file without using any device. So is it possible? It is not at all possible. So without using any devices, we cannot retrieve the information from the memory card. So where is the photo, or where the photo is stored in the memory card, that belongs to the physical layer. So physical layer is responsible for storing and physically linking the devices. This is the innermost layer of the OSI model. So moving to the next slide, which describes what are the functions of physical layer. There are 4 functions of physical layer. First one is bit synchronization, second one is bit rate control, third one is physical topologies, and fourth one is your transmission mode. So first we will be discussing about your bit synchronization. So what do you mean by bit synchronization? We have already discussed that physical layer is the innermost layer, that means it is responsible for storing the data, and we know that every data is stored in the form of zeros and ones. So bit synchronization is the most important factor of physical layer. In case of bit synchronization, we arrange the bits, we follow the rules and regulations to arrange the bits. These and arranging the bits, putting them in a order, putting them in a frame is called as your bit synchronization. So next is your bit rate control. Bit rate control describes how many bits to be transferred, means how at what speed the data will be transferred from one location to another location. For example, suppose I will take a pen drive, I have a file of 1 MB or 10 MB and I want to copy the file from my pen drive to my system. You have noticed that it will be showing 1%, 2% copying, 1%, 2%, 3% and it will move to 100%. So at that time you can clearly see there must be a message showing how much or at what speed the message is going, at what KB or what MB it is going. That is called the bit rate. That means the speed of transferring of bits from one location to another location is termed as your bit rate. Next, moving to the physical topologies. Topologies means the arranging of computers or devices to transmit the data is termed as your topology. So physical topologies means what topology we are following. You must have heard about star topology, bus topology, mesh topology. So these are the topologies in which way we will arrange the systems, in which way or in which style we will be arranging the system to transmit the data from one system to other system. Those are called the physical topologies. Next and the last one is your transmission mode. That means in which way we will be transmitting the data. So transmission mode refers to simplex, half duplex and full duplex. In case of simplex, the sender is only responsible for sending the data. That means sender will always send the data and receiver will only receive the data. Receiver cannot send a data. Example is your radio. So radio is responsible for transmitting the data and receiver will only receive the data. But receiver cannot send a data to the sender or cannot interact with the sender. So after simplex we will be moving to half duplex. So in case of half duplex, the most vital example is your walkie-talkie. In walkie-talkie, the sender can send the information, the receiver can receive and as well as they can send the data. That means a sender can act as a sender and receiver and a receiver can also act as a sender and receiver, but simultaneously they cannot use it. That means after sending the information, the sender will be idle, then the receiver will send the message. They cannot send their messages simultaneously. But in case of full duplex, which is the best example, we can consider the best example as your mobile phone. So whenever we are talking to our friend, so at that time he or she can also interfere in it. So while talking also I can listen what they are telling. So in this case both the sender and receiver can send the messages simultaneously. There is no restriction. So these are the transmission mode. So these are the four functions of physical layer, that is a bit synchronization, bit rate control, physical topologies and transmission mode. Next we will be discussing about data link layer. So the data link layer is responsible for the node to node delivery of the message. The main function of the layer is to make sure data transfer is error free from one node to another over the physical layer. When a packet arrives in a network, it is the responsibility of data link layer to transmit it to the host using its MAC address. So actually the data link layer is divided into two sub layers, that is your logical link control and media access control, that is your MAC. So what is the function of data link layer? So data link layer is actually responsible for linking the data. It is actually responsible for creating a link between the two nodes. That means suppose I want to access internet in my laptop. So there are different ways. I can use Wi-Fi, I can use data cable, I can use Bluetooth connection, I can directly connect it with the Ethernet card, but at the same time I cannot access all the internet connections. You must be knowing that. So at a single time I have to access the internet from a single server. It is not possible to access the internet from multiple servers. I cannot access the Ethernet card internet, Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth connection, each and everything at the same time, because IP address will be one. So the company or the service provider from which I will be allotted the IP address, from that service provider only I can connect the internet, and all other connections will be sitting idle. So this is the work of data link layer. So data link layer searches whether there is a error or not, and then it will decide how many messages had gone and how many messages will be delivered. So these are the functions of data link layer. It has two sub layers, that is logical link control, media access control. So the functions of data link layer are framing. So whatever messages we will be sending, it will be converted to packets, and the packets will be converted into frames. That means you must have noticed while sending a photo in a WhatsApp, you must have seen the photo will be uploaded 1%, 2%, then it will move to 5%, then it will move to 15%. So it will be uploaded according to the speed of the internet. So what is that percentage? So how the message is going? So all the messages or whatever data we are sending, all those things are going in the form of packets. So whole data is converted into small packets, and again the packets are converted into small frames. So data link layer is responsible for creating a frame. Next, it is responsible for physical addressing. That means where the data will be stored and how the data will be stored, in what way data will be accessed, each and everything will come under your physical addressing. That means it will connect with the physical layer to collect the data from the memory card. Suppose I am sending a photo. So the photo is or the image is stored in physical layer in memory card. So physical layer will be responsible for storing it. But while sending, data link layer will collect the photo or the image from the physical layer and will send it for transmission. So this is called your physical addressing. Next comes your error control. So the error control means what? While sending a message, there are a lot of chances where a error can occur. So when error will occur, data link layer will be responsible for debugging the errors. So debugging the errors means correcting the errors which are there in the messages. So while sending a message, there may be a voltage fluctuation, or there may be some other criteria where a message is hampered or a error will arise. So data link layer will be responsible for correcting the errors and retransmitting the messages. Next is your access control. So access control means when a single communication channel is shared by multiple devices, MAC sublayer of data link layer helps to determine which device has control over the channel at the given time. That means every communication channel is responsible for their respective errors. So those channel who will have the errors, in that channel only we can rectify the errors, which is done by the access control, which is the function of data link layer. So these are the four functions of data link layer, that is your framing, physical addressing, error control and access control. So moving to the next layer, that is the network layer. So network layer works for the transmission of data from one host to the other located in different network. It also takes care of packet routing, that is selection of the shortest path to transmit the packet from the number of routes available. The sender and receiver's IP address are placed in the header by the network layer. So what is the function of network layer? Network layer is responsible for signaling. I will call a friend through my phone. So what is the first function, or what is the first thing what my friend is doing? So first of all, whenever I will call a friend, a server will notify me whether the friend is available or not, or whether he is busy in another call, or he is not in the network area. So a message will come. If everything is all right, then his phone will ring. So after ringing, he will pick up the phone or he will not pick up the phone. So how he got a ring? He got a ring because of network layer. Network layer is responsible for giving me the signal and as well as my friend signal. So network layer is responsible for linking to the other side phone or system through signaling. Okay. So, what are the functions of network layer? The functions of network layer is, first one is routing and second one is your logical addressing. So, first one is your routing. The network layer protocols determine which route is suitable for source to destination. This function of network layer is called as routing. So, what do you mean by routing? Routing simply means in which route the message will be transmitted. Suppose I am calling a friend. Suppose I am in Cuttack and my friend is living in another district. So, whenever I will give a call, network layer will always try to connect it directly. If it is not connecting directly, then it will search for possible routes through which the message or the call can be transferred, and from those routes the shortest path, through the shortest path the signal will be transferred. That means while transmitting the data, the shortest path will be followed. This is the work of network layer. Second one is your logical addressing. In order to identify each device on inter-network uniquely, network layer defines an addressing scheme. The senders and receivers IP address are placed in the header by network layer. Such an address distinguishes each device uniquely and universally. That means using logical addressing we can identify a device. That means whenever we are calling a friend or we are sending a message to our friend, the addressing is the most important thing. That means source address and destination address must be allotted by the network layer. So, network layer first gives or allots the sender address and receiver address, and then the message is sent from the sender to the receiver. So, these are the two functions of network layer. So, that is your routing and second one is your logical addressing. Next comes your transport layer. So, transport layer provides services to application layers and takes services from network layer. The data in the transport layer is referred as segments. It is responsible for the end-to-end delivery of the complete message. The transport layer also provides the acknowledgement of the successful data transmission and retransmits the data if an error is found. That means transport layer, I have already told you, when I call a friend, the first thing that the server does is connecting my friend with me. That means suppose he will get a call, there is no problem, he gets a call, that means his phone is ringing, and after ringing he picked up the phone. So, after picking up the phone, my voice message is going to him and his voice message is coming to me, and who is responsible for transmitting the data? Transport layer is responsible for transmitting the data. So, before picking up the phone, it is the function of network layer. Network layer will be responsible for connecting it, but after connecting, it is the responsibility, it is the combined responsibility of network layer and transport layer. Network layer will provide the signal and transport layer will transport my data to the destination and his data to me. This is the work of transport layer. So, transport layer transfers the data which is termed as your segments. That means transport layer transfer the segments from my side to other side and from him or her to me. This is the function of transport layer. So, what is the particular function of transport layer? The first one is your segmentation and reassembly, and the second one is your service point addressing. So, first one, segmentation and reassembly. This layer accepts the message from the session layer, breaks the message into smaller units. Each of the segment produced has a header associated with it. The transport layer at the destination station reassembles the message. So, segmentation and reassembly means transport layer is responsible for breaking the message into simpler parts and transferring it to the destination. So, whenever I am talking to a friend, all my words are divided into segments and it will be transferred to the destination, and after received at the destination, it gets assembled again. That means it checks whether the messages are in the same order or not. So, it first it collects the data, it assembles it, and then it displays the message to the receiver. Second one is your service point addressing. In order to deliver the message to the correct process, transport layer header includes a type of address called service point address or port address. Thus, by specifying this address, transport layer makes sure that the message is delivered to the correct process. That means, suppose I am sending a photo in WhatsApp, you must have seen if the photo is delivered to the destination, that it gives a single tick. If it is showing double tick, that means it has been delivered to the receiver, and if it is showing double blue tick, that means it has been read by the receiver. So single tick, double blue tick, it is the delivery report of the receiver. That means what is the status of the receiver, or what is the status of the message, it is also being transferred to the sender. This is also the function of transport layer. So transport layer has two functions, that is your segmentation and reassembly, and the second one is your service point addressing. Next is your session layer. What is the function of this layer? This layer is responsible for establishment of connection, maintenance of sessions, authentication, and also ensures security. That means session layer, in simple words I can say that session layer is responsible for tracking the data transferred from source to destination. That means suppose I will give a call to my friend. Okay, the phone will ring for 30 seconds, let us say for 30 seconds. Then after that my friend will pick up the phone and we will talk for 10 minutes. So after disconnecting or terminating the phone call, the balance will come to me that you have talked to 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something. So who is recording the phone call? Who is calculating the time I have talked to each other? This is the session layer. Session layer tracks the amount of data transferred and the time of data transferred. Suppose I am downloading a movie. So what is the size of the movie? It is also tracked by the session layer. So session layer is responsible for tracking and for calculating the bits or megabits or anything, or how much data is transferred. It is been calculated by the session layer. So what are the functions of session layer? The first function of session layer is session establishment, maintenance, and termination. That means session layer is actually fully dependent on transport layer. So when the transport layer gets activated, session layer is also getting activated. Session layer will track the amount of data transferred and what is the time of data transfer. So whenever my friend will pick up the phone and he will talk to me, from that time session layer will start and it will start calculating the amount of data transferred and the time taken by the sender and receiver to receive or send the message. So it will totally track the amount of information traveled in between the sender and receiver, and it will notify the user. Second one is your synchronization. This layer allows a process to add checkpoints which are considered as synchronization points into the data. These synchronization points help to identify the error so that the data is resynchronized properly and ends of the message are not cut prematurely and data loss is avoided. You must be aware of data loss. That means whenever we are talking to a friend, suppose I will be talking for 10 minutes. After some time I will realize that my phone has been deducted. So in that case, session layer will try not to disconnect a phone, because when a phone gets disconnected, then the company also loses a lot of things. So company has a provision of retransmitting the data, which is done by the session layer. Last one is your dialog controller. The session layer allows two systems to start the communication with each other in half duplex or full duplex. That means when a message is sent or when a sender or a user transmits its data or connects with other system and they transfer the data with each other, session layer tracks the amount of data and it also notifies the user at the same time that this much of data you are using and this much of data is left. Suppose I am downloading a movie, you have clearly seen that suppose the size of the movie is 2 GB and how much data is being downloaded, 50 MB, then it comes to 60 MB, 63 MB, 67 MB, 80 MB. This is the record of the data which is being done, which is done by the session layer. So session layer is responsible for session establishment, maintenance and termination, then it goes for synchronization, and last one is your dialog control. Moving to the next layer, that is your presentation layer. So presentation layer is also called as the translation layer. The data from the application layer is extracted here and manipulated as per the required format to transmit the data over the network. So presentation layer is actually responsible for presenting the data. Suppose I want to teach you something, so I can take a lot of media. I can take a whiteboard, I can show the data in my laptop, I can show the data in my phone, I can show the data in my desktop. So in which layer I am showing or displaying the result is your presentation layer. In which layer I will be displaying each and every layer or each and every presentation devices will be different. Whenever I am showing a photo in my phone, it will show as per my screen resolution. So whenever I will show the same photo or I will transfer the same photo to a projector, then it will automatically accommodate within the screen resolution as per the projector. So this is done by the presentation layer. So presentation, what are the functions of presentation layer? First one is translation, which for example ASCII to EBC DIC. That means whenever we are sending the messages, you know that the data is sent, actually the data is stored in a memory card in the forms of zeros and ones. So whenever we are opening a photo also, whenever we are taking a photo, it is also it also gets stored in the form of zeros and ones. So but whenever we are opening the image, it does not comes in zeros and ones, it comes in full color photo. So who is doing that? Who is translating the image to zeros and ones and zeros and ones to back to the image? So it is the presentation layer. So the first function of presentation layer is your translation. Next one is your encryption and decryption. That means the process through which the image, suppose I am taking a photo, the process through which the photo is transferred from the color photo to zeros and ones, and whenever we are clicking on the photo and the photo comes up, that means from memory card it is collecting the zeros and ones and then converting it into an image and showing it in the screen. It is also done by the presentation layer. Last one is your compression, reduces the number of bits that need to be transmitted on the network. You must be using WhatsApp, so you must have marked one thing. Suppose I will take a photo of my friend, the size of the photo is 5 MB, but whenever I am uploading the photo in the WhatsApp and whenever the friend is receiving the photo, the size of the photo is not exactly 5 MB, it gets compressed. So who is doing the compression techniques? The presentation layer is responsible for compressing the data. But why it is compressing? Because without compression the data cannot be sent to the destination, or it will take much more time to reach the destination. So the main work of presentation layer is compression. So whatever data we are sending, first it compresses the data and then it sends it to the receiver. So these are the functions of presentation layer, that is translation, then encryption and decryption, and the last one is your compression. The final layer is your application layer. So at the very top of the OSI reference model stack of layers, we find application layer, which is implemented by the network applications. These applications produce the data which has to be transferred over the network. This layer also serves as a window for the application services to access the network and for displaying the received information to the user. So what is application layer? This is the most important layer, and this layer is very closely related to the user, because suppose I am sending a photo in WhatsApp to one of my friend. So in that case, when my friend will receive the message, it will give a notification, one message received. So my friend will see that one message received in WhatsApp. When he will click on it, the photo will come. He will be moved to the WhatsApp screen, and in WhatsApp the message will be shown or the photo will be shown. So at every step, many softwares are responsible for displaying the messages. Suppose I am sending a message in Facebook, then the receiver will also receive the message in Facebook. That does not mean that I will send a photo in WhatsApp and he will receive in Facebook. No. That means what application or what software I am using to send the message, the destination should also have installed the same software to receive the message. This is the work of application layer. So the functions of applications layer are network virtual terminal, file transfer, access and management, mail services and directory services. So viewers, you already know that when a message is received, first a notification is shown. So as per notification, you move to the particular application. Suppose if message is received in WhatsApp, so you move to the WhatsApp application app, you move to Facebook app, or you move to mail app. The message in which the application is associated, you open that application. So all these things are done by the application layer. So application layer is closely related to the user, because user interacts with the device and all the layers through the application only. So whenever I will make a call, I use the application, the phone app, to connect to the friend or to get a call. So these are the functions of application layer, that is your network virtual terminal, file transfer, access and management, mail services and directory services. So these are the 7 layers of OSI model, and we have discussed each and every layer very briefly. So these layers combine with each other, or they interact with each other to send a message from sender to the receiver successfully. So these are all about the OSI model. Thank you.